Hello and welcome to the project. So let's do our project. So the first page we'll create is access the browser URL. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use this Bootstrap. And we're going to say access. We're trying to access the URL from the history, right? So what we'll do, we're going to open that folder, project folder, right? And it has this HTML file. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to create two links. Let's create that link and we'll add some event to it, on click event. We have seen how to create on click event, and we'll add a method called go back, right? And then we will say go back here, right? We're creating a link called go back. We'll create one more link called go forward. Okay, and then we have a method in JavaScript using which we can actually go in forward in terms of the history, right? Now you can write your JavaScript here, history.forward. Okay, similarly we'll write this method go back. So how to write your JavaScript script? So how to write a function? You say function go back. Here you can say history dot back. All right, so let's run this program. So this program has two links, go back and go forward. So you see these two buttons. We are trying to achieve the same thing with these two buttons, PHP bootcamp. And now when you go back, so you see you have a forward icon, right? Just enable. Now when you click this go forward, you basically went to docs, and let's say you have now this enable back button. So when you click on go back, you go back to that page, right? So you're doing this back and front, right? You're doing this back and front operations with this, right? Let's say you go to bing.com, right? And then you go back. Now the next page is bing.com, right? So you go forward to bing.com, you come back, you go back to bing.com. So there is an history object already available for us, using which you can execute the method called back and front, right? Using which you can actually navigate onto the web pages. So this basically, this help you understand that there are some objects available using which you can go back and front, or you can do many other operations on the browser as well. What we are trying to do here is this controls that you see, right, is all written in JavaScript. That's what I'm trying to show you. You go forward or go back. Let's say you go to bing.com again, right? Go back. So instead of clicking this and this, they both execute the same code, right? See, right? The same thing. So whatever the browser script is been running, we are trying to execute the browser script. Okay, understand, this is very important concept. You can get access to all the things that browser actually does on your web page, right? And you can get that with the help of all these objects that is available for you to work with. All right, so that's all about it, and I'll see you in the next one. Hello and welcome to the project. So let's create a form validation page. Okay, we'll create a form and then we'll validate the form. Okay, that's the exercise. We're going to do it here now. So I'm going to copy paste the form here. So this is the form that I have copy pasted. Okay, let's open this up first. Okay, so it has name, it has email, age, and then option button, and then you have agree to our terms. Okay, so you have checkbox, you have radio button, then you have all the text boxes. So this is a good form for us to validate, right? We can see how to access the text boxes, how to access the option buttons, radio buttons, then how to access the checkbox. Okay, so that is basically the form that we have here. So the form starts with the form tag, right? And then you have this inputs, right? All these inputs. of different type. One is text, one is radio, and one is checkbox. And the magic happens with the ID. You give them a name, right? Every element has a name. And then also if you look at checkbox also have a name. All right, so how to access this? So when someone clicks on submit, we call a method. So let's define this method, check form data. Okay, so let's write that function. Okay, we say var message. So we'll store all our details in the message. So first we'll get the text box name. So document dot get element by ID. And what is that element name? That is text underscore name. Okay, and dot value. All right, so now t name actually has the value of the text name. Similarly, we're gonna get the email, then we're gonna get the age. Okay, this is how you extract the value from the text box. So you can say email and you can say age. Okay, so this is how you access the text box content. So how to access radio button? Radio values. So we say t gender 1 document dot get element by ID. We have given an ID to it, so radio 1. So this has a property called checked. Okay, similarly we're gonna have for gender 2 radio 2, and similarly we can access the checkbox. You say checkbox. Okay, and the name of the checkbox, that is the ID, is checkbox. Okay, I'm going to check whether it is checked or not. Okay, so let's print them. So we can say message is equal to name colon t name. All right, and similarly we're going to add the rest of the fields. Right, we have email, we have age, then we have gender, that's the 2, then we have the checkbox. Okay, so now we can say it's email, age, male, female, and then agreed. All right, so this is how we basically access the form elements. You know how to access the text box, radio button, and the checkbox. All right, so we have the message and we have a paragraph. Let's t message. So let's assign this data to our paragraph. Okay, how you're gonna do it? Document dot, we find the element, right, dot inner HTML is equal to message. Okay, so we get the message and we assign to that the paragraph. Okay, so let's run this. So we have name, email, age is 12, agree to our terms, submit. Okay, so you can see you have your data already here. The male is true, female is false, agreed is true. If you remove this, make it female, click submit, change the value. So you're able to access all the form fields. You're able to access text fields, you're able to access option button, you're able to access the checkbox as well. The code is very simple and the magic happens from get element by ID. You mention the name of that field, right, by creating an ID for it, and then you use get element by ID to search that value and get the value of that element. Fine. So that's how you basically access a form element. Okay, and then now you have the data, you can validate it as well. That's all for this lecture on form validation. I'll see you in the next one. Okay, so let's do another project called guessing game. Wherein we will ask user to enter a value and we'll ask him to guess a number from 1 to 10. We'll provide the answer in our code. We'll ask him to guess what is that number inside the code. Okay, so let's write that program. So we copy paste this, put in guessing number game. Okay, so what we're going to do is, first we're going to have two variables. We have the message that we want to display, alright, and we have the answer here. Okay, the user has to guess this answer. Okay, that's number 5. Now till he guess, he can have a loop. He can write a loop till he guess that answer, and till that answer is equal to, let's say, whatever is the input, till that he can make a guess. Okay, and now we can say prompt him to enter the number. So we can say guess the number from 1 to 10. Alright, so now he will enter some value. Now we have stored it in the input 1, and input 1 we will parse it to int, so that now we can, when you parse it, you can convert string to integer. Alright, and now you can do the comparison. If input 1 not equal to answer, then what you can do is you can alert saying nope, wrong. Alright, and till it is done. Okay, later you can say message you guessed it right, this is the answer. Okay, you have the message that now you can display that message. Okay, until when you can, this loop keep executing and you won't be seeing output. Once you guess, then basically you will see the answer onto the web page. So we'll say guess the number. We can say script, and now we can write the message. Okay, so nothing fancy about writing the message. The whole magic happens from the do while loop, wherein you keep asking him to guess a number from 1 to 10, and let's see how many trials he will be taking to guess the number. Okay, so let's guess the number. I assume you don't know the number, so you enter 1. Okay, nope, wrong. 4, nope, wrong. Then you enter the correct number, that is 5. Then basically guess the number. You guess it right, 5 is the answer. Right, you can refresh again. Okay, a simple game, right? You can actually write it for your friends, or you can write it to try out how things work. You can enhance it further. You can have like minimum 3 tries and all those things. You can do that by saying, now you see he cannot come out of it, right? So you can say, you can do a counter here. Which is equal to 0, and you're gonna say counter plus plus. If counter is equal to 3, you break from the loop. Okay, and once you break from the loop, you need to know whether he has answered it correct or not, right? Because there could be cases where they have answered it correct, right? So you're gonna say flag false. Okay, and let's say he guessed it right. Let's say the answer is guessed it right, then you can typically say flag is equal to true, and then I can break it. Okay, now here in the message you can actually have if flag Okay, if flag means if true means he is able to guess it, then you can say sorry, better try again. Right, so what we are doing is we are trying to make him check only for 3 times. Right, let's do this now. So this is the first time he's entering that. Let's close all the pages. So let's test this. Let's open the page. So we say 1, 2, 3, and then the fourth one, last one. Right, so because it starts with 0, it's run for 4 times. You can always start it with 1. Right, and then you refresh the page, it's 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and then you come out of the loop. Right, you cannot guess it, but if you guess it for the first time, then say you guess it right, 5 is the answer. So very simple to play around, because we have seen all this, assignment operators, and how to do and write an if condition, how to write do while, all those things we have checked. So we know how to write JavaScript from the language basics. Then you can apply any logic that you have that you want to write it in the web page as well. And now you can control everything. All the scripting can be controlled via the JavaScript onto the web page. Alright, so that's all about this project on guessing game, and we'll see in the next one.